After you hit 50, life stops sending little warning shots. It starts sending massive wake-up calls. Some people hear them, but a lot of us, well, we ignore them for a long, long time. In this explainer, we're diving into the story of one of those calls, a totally ordinary moment that forced the man to face absolutely everything he'd been avoiding.
Let's just stop and think about this for a second. Your prime isn't behind you, it's now. I mean, wow, that idea just flies in the face of everything we're told about getting older, right? This isn't just some feel-good quote. It's the core belief that can power a total life transformation. It's the idea that your best years aren't just a memory. There's something you can start building right now.
And you know where it all began? With this really quiet, almost universal question. It's that moment of truth when you catch your reflection, maybe in a mirror or in this case, a microwave door, and you don't even recognize the person looking back. Is this really how the rest of my life is going to feel? That single question was the spark that lit the fire.
So the big turning point, it wasn't some huge dramatic crisis. There was no hospital bed, no emergency room visit, no doctors yelling. It was quiet. It was a personal moment that just became impossible to ignore any longer. That feeling of being tired, disconnected, and just, well, feeling like you're done.
And that feeling? It had a number, 255 pounds. But look, this was never just about the weight on the scale. It was the physical symbol of feeling stuck. It was the knees that hurt walking up the stairs, the nights of terrible sleep, and that feeling that your inner spark had just gone out.
Okay, so let's look at the hard data behind that feeling. This is from a doctor's visit back in November 2019. Check out that blood pressure, 190 over 110. I mean, that's dangerously high. So high, in fact, they had to delay a surgery he needed. This wasn't just a number on a chart. This was a giant flashing red light.
So what do you do with a wake-up call like that? Well, you make a decision. But here's the crazy part. He didn't wait for Monday. He didn't make some New Year's resolution. The change started on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving, the one day pretty much everyone else is giving themselves a pass. That tells you everything you need to know about his commitment.
And this is where the game really changed. He didn't just accept a life on medication. When the doctor gave him a 90-day supply of blood pressure pills, he saw that not as a new normal, but as a deadline. The goal was huge. Get so healthy in those 90 days that he wouldn't need the pills anymore.
And the plan to get there? It wasn't some crazy, complicated system. It was just a few simple, non-negotiable rules. Things like tracking every single bite of food, weighing in every morning, no excuses, and just starting with 10-minute walks. These tiny, consistent actions built the foundation for everything.
And all of this really gets to the heart of the matter. The physical stuff, the weight loss, the better health, that was all just the result. The real work, the real war, was being fought in those 7 inches between his ears.
So what exactly are these 7 inches? It's simple. It's the space between your ears. That's the real battleground, isn't it? It's where you either talk yourself out of doing the hard thing or you build the discipline to do it anyway. The most powerful tool for change wasn't an app or a diet. It was mastering his own mind.
And this is so important. He realized he had to stop chasing motivation. Think of motivation like a sugar rush. It feels great for a second, but it's emotional, unreliable, and it fades fast. Discipline, though, that's the engine. It doesn't care how you feel. It's a standard you build for yourself, and it just goes.
Okay, so it's one thing to talk about discipline, but what does it actually look like in the real world, especially when things get tough, because you know they always do. Let's talk about a moment that put this idea to the ultimate test.
So, get this. A massive winter storm just paralyzes San Antonio. We're talking ice, snow, the whole city is shut down. And that little voice in your head, the one that loves comfort, is screaming, "Stay inside, take a day off, you've earned it." It was the perfect excuse to quit.
But here's the thing. Discipline doesn't negotiate with the weather. It doesn't care if it's snowing. So he layered up and got his 10,000 steps in anyway, in the freezing cold. That one walk wasn't about burning calories. It was about forging a new identity. It was proving to himself that he was the kind of person who keeps his promises, no matter what.
And the results? I mean, just look at this. In only 90 days, he dropped 80 pounds. His blood pressure went from stroke level down to a healthy 120/80. And that medication? Gone. Every single one of these numbers tells a story of what that kind of discipline can achieve.
All right, so what's the big takeaway here for you? This isn't just one guy's story. It's about completely reframing what's possible in the second half of your life. Like the slide says, this isn't about an inevitable decline. It's about a decision.
Listen, the main point is this. Your story is not over. Not even close. Your best chapter could absolutely be the one you're about to write. Age is just a number. It is not a barrier to transformation. The moment you choose to rebuild, everything shifts.
And the best part? You don't need some huge, complicated plan to start. It comes down to these 4 simple things you can do today, right now. Face the number on the scale. Take one small step, a 10-minute walk. Drink some water before your coffee. Write down one single goal. That's it. That's the start.
And I want to leave you with this one last thought. The person you want to become, they aren't built someday or next Monday. They're built today with the small, consistent, disciplined actions you take. You're not too old, and it is not too late. You just have to start.